Hey y'all. Okay, so I know this is not my normal time to go live, but I didn't get on this morning because I didn't get any sleep last night because I was out not feeling well. So I decided that I would come on today instead in the afternoon and just say hello. So and do a quick tutorial. Hi Stacy Lee. Hey Jamie. I know that afternoons are not my normal time, but it seems lately more and more that afternoons seem to be working out better. So I'm not going to say that I won't be doing afternoon stuff some because I have not been getting good sleep lately, and it has just been harder and harder for me to work my mornings out to get on here. So anyway. I was not feeling well last night. I finally got to bed or got to sleep about 6 or so this morning. And when 9:30 rolled around, I was not about to get out of bed. I was tired. Yay, I'm so glad you got your pencils in, Stacy Lee. Yeah, Jamie, I think a lot of it is just that I have not gotten used to my new schedule just yet. And things are kind of a little crazy with me. Night times I'm up really late because I'm having to do a lot of my stuff for my wedding packages and keep up with my TikTok live schedule and also keep up with my, commissions, and there's just so much going on. And so I think that it's just hard for me to have a set schedule, and morning times are really, really hard lately. So I may be having to switch to afternoons, but today, for sure, we're doing afternoons, so. Almost 70 in New York. That's awesome. That's great that y'all are getting that pretty weather. Of course, it'll probably be cold again before you know it. I am very busy, Jamie. It's weird because I've always been busy. I've never been the kind of person that sits around and does nothing. However, it seems like since I've retired from the gym, my life has gotten busier, not slower, which is strange for me because I keep thinking to myself, how did I run a business, like a brick and mortar business, and manage 10 staff members and payroll and teach classes every day and all the things that I did. And now I'm like wondering how I did all of that, and did all of this stuff too. But here I am, busier than I expected to be at this part of my life. But whatever. I'm loving it. I don't like to sit around and do nothing anyway, so it's good that I'm busy. Hey, Farallon, how's it going? Yeah, I was just telling everybody afternoons seem to be working out better for me lately, so I'm going with whatever happens. Whatever happens, and there's always a replay available. If you can't catch me in the afternoons, or if you miss one of my morning ones or whatever, because my schedule's crazy and I can't always promise exact times. So, but I can promise that I will upload them to my YouTube or my Tube of You. Sorry. Oh, hope I don't get in trouble for that. I will always upload them there, and then, you guys can catch the replays. So, all right. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Just going with the flow. Okay, so we are going to do a turtle today. Let me show you what I'm doing. He's cute, I think. He looks like this. He doesn't really have a background or anything, so I think we'll add in some, cute colors in the background for him, and maybe put a ground underneath him, like some sand or something. Or maybe do sand at the bottom and some water at the top, kind of like a beach scene. So that is, a turtle was on our list, so I decided that would be a great place to start. So that is what we're going to do. So if anybody wants to take screenshots of that, go right ahead and do so. I'm going to lean over so that glare goes away so you can get a good screenshot of it. So I'm going to block the window in my studio. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hopefully you got your screenshot done. And yeah, we haven't even started, Carrie. I haven't even gone over products. I literally just got on like less than 10 minutes ago. So you got plenty of time. No worries. Okay, so I'm going to use the Meeden 96 color palette today. So we'll be using that as our watercolors that we'll be using today. So, hey, Mom. Oh, Samantha, okay, I'll pull it up in just a second. Let me pin this really quickly. This is the water color palette that we're going to use. I'm going to be doing an ACEO, so we'll be doing 2.5 by 3.5 size. Here you go, Miss Samantha. There is, let me block the window glare as best I can. There we go. And grab a screenshot as quickly as you can. Go ahead and grab it. And then we will move to going through all the supplies we're going to need, and then we'll get going. Okay? All right. Okay, so we're going to do ACEO size. This is 2.5 by 3.5. I think I'm going to do it this way, though. So I'm going to do it in a landscape format. And we're going to be using the Meeden watercolors that are the 96 color palette. That is the 48 primary and secondary colors. They go from lightest to darkest, so you can shade really easily. You have lots of color options. And then you also have your 30 different metallics. You have 12 macaroon color options, and then you have 6 of your neon options. You also have this fold out palette that detaches that you can use for mixing, and it comes with a brush and a pencil, an eraser, and 2 art sponges. Love this palette. I have the 48 color palette as well, and I love it equally as much. The reason that I got and upgraded to the 96 color was because I wanted more of the metallics, and it has a lot more in it than the 48 color palette. So we are going to be using this palette today, and we're going to be using the Meeden brushes, which are right here. These brushes, I have the 4 brush set, which is the 7, 5, 3, and 1. Let me find my 3 and 1. They're in here somewhere. I've got my palette, all my stuff is kind of all everywhere right now, so it's been kind of crazy. Hang on one second and let me find my other brushes. Where did they go? I know I'm just overlooking them. Let's see. Y'all, where is my brush that I normally use? I was just using it. Here it is. Here's the 1. And the 3 is in my stack somewhere. But anyway, this is the 4 brush set. Comes with the 1, 3, 5, and 7. And I love this set because they're short. Hey, gunpowder and milkshakes. Diane. I'm glad you stopped in to say hello. Sorry I didn't make it on this morning. I was telling everybody my afternoons seem to be so much more easy and comfortable for me lately. So who knows? I may have to start changing my schedule up a little bit, but we'll see. I'm not going to do anything right now, but we'll see how things go over the next week or two. So anyway, this set right here, it's short. Hi, Nicole. How's it going? They're very short, so you can control your strokes. They don't rust, which is great. You can get you can hold lots of water. You get great shapes with these brushes. You can do detail work with them. Amazing brushes. Love this set. If you don't have it, you should definitely get it if you don't own the Meeden set. If you do own the Meeden set, which those of you who watercolor on this app regularly understand, and I'm sure mostly own this set, and you can attribute to how amazing this set is. Love it so much. And then let's see, I'm starting to think that my grandson might have taken my 4th brush in this set because I can't seem to find it anywhere, and I feel like he probably took it and borrowed it and didn't return it, so I'll have to go through his desk later and find it. But luckily it's not one that I use. The 1 is the one I use most of the time. So, okay. Yes, I know. It is. It's very nice. Yeah, it's really nice. It keeps them organized and everything, so... Yes, Nicole Tiffany, it is, I'm telling you, it is the best. I love that set so much. Paint with you for the first time with my medium paints. Yay, little sister, I'm so excited. I'll show you guys the inspiration picture in just a minute that we're going to be using today. We're doing a turtle. It's going to be so fun. I don't know why I have the pencils pinned. I meant to have the brushes pinned, so here they are. The pencils we will be using to draw with in just a minute, and I'll be going through that in just a second. But yes, it does have a great, I have to show you guys what I did though. Okay, so I have a video of this going up, but I made one of those Louise Carmen like knockoff DIY journals with the little charms and everything. I did a DIY version of it, and I made it for a swatch book, so I don't have to keep up with my swatch cards. So what I did was I printed out these little swatch cards, and I made a signature with them. And the idea is to put all of my palettes in here with the swatches. So when I need to look up a color, I will have it all in this little book. And then I also put a little thing in here for notes and ideas for me to make our lists of all the things that we want to paint. And then back here, I have this one for like, if I want to throw in some sketches or, you know, whatever. So I created that and with some leather, and then I put this cute little charm on the front of it that I'm going to put a picture of me and my grandkids inside of it. And then I've got my little traveling charms on the bottom that say like explore. This one is my motorhome. This one's a little compass. So anyway, and then I can add to it when I want to. So all I have to do is just pull them out like that. And if I want to put another swatch booklet like this in here for something else, I can. I love this idea of this little, you know, case that you can just add your books in as you want them to be. And you can make it kind of whatever you want. So anyway, I did that over the weekend, and I love it so much. I even engraved my name with my little laser on it. And this will get patinaed and kind of wrinkle and be so, so cute. So like the more I use it, you can tell like when you mash on it and stuff, it kind of gets wrinkled and patinaed. So I love it so much. So just wanted to share that with you guys because I'm doing that for my swatches. So I've got... So you guys, I have a video showing that, you know, showing that I did it, but it hasn't come out yet. It's in my drafts, but you guys are on live, so y'all get to see it first. Oh, you got the Nick Pro set. Yay, Carrie. I'm so excited. Oh, Stacey Lee, you're sweet. So now I'm not going to have to keep up with all of the different swatch cards. I'm going to make and create swatch cards in my journal that I can just pull when I need to. And that way I'm not always having to search for things. As long as I keep up with my little journal, I will be able to keep up with all my swatches. So that was my solution for my neurodivergency and not being able to ever keep up with anything. So, okay, so we're going to use those brushes. We'll use these detail brushes as well. This is the Golden Maple set. We will be using those. There are 20 brushes in this set. You get the liners, you get the round brushes, you get your flat brushes, you get your fan brush, you even get an angled brush. Love this set. It comes in a case that you can keep them all together, and I just hang mine on my pegboard, and when I need it, I grab it and pull the brush that I need. I absolutely love this set. They sell out quick, but they are currently in stock, and if you guys are looking for a good detail brush set, this is a great one to have. So we'll be using that today. And then the other thing that we're going to be using is the Nick Pro pencil set to do our drawing with. And I'm telling you guys, I cannot stress enough how important it is as a sketch artist to have a good mechanical pencil set. This one is great. It comes with the 5, 7, 9, and the 2.0s. You get all your leads. You get your erasers. You get a kneaded eraser. You get your small erasers. You get colored inks. Or colored pencils, sorry, colored leads. And then you get all the different hardnesses of all the different leads as well. So when you're drawing, you can keep your line work really consistent by using mechanical pencils. If you use regular pencils, your line work is not near as consistent because as the lead dulls, the lead gets wider and then your lines get wider as well. So it's hard to be consistent with lead. So I tend to lean towards the mechanical pencil sets for all my drawings so I can keep all my lines consistent. So I really like this set, and that's what we'll be using today. I'll be using the 0.5 to draw out our little turtle, and these are color coded as well, so you know which leads go into which pencil. They also have a really cool little feature on them that tells you what kind of lead's in it. So if you have an HB lead in here, you mark it there. If you have a 2B lead, you can turn this to the 2B section, so you don't have to remember what lead you have in your pencil, which is great. So let's see, I have to watch the replay. Oh, go clean the coop out while it's sunny. I agree with you. Yep, you got to take advantage of the sun while you have it, especially here in Texas. We're getting rain all over the place. It's been a hot mess around here. So, yeah, I only use them too, Nicole. Yep, mechanical pencils are the best for drawing. They just help to keep everything so much more consistent, for sure. Jamie, you have a good day too. Thanks for stopping in. I'm glad you hung out with us for a few minutes. Finishing up your work day. Yay. Yay, Mass Mom. That's good. Oh, you're in Chandler. You're not far from me. Yeah, that's not far at all. Okay. All right, so let's get going on this. We're going to start our drawing. I'm going to put you guys on the overhead so that you guys can see better. So let me show you one more time our inspiration picture. Yes, they are, Stacy Lee. They're amazing. They're very, very smooth. So here is the inspiration photo if you guys want to take a quick shot of it, a screenshot so that you have it and you can use it as a reference if you want to. So I'll give you about 5 seconds to go ahead and take that screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. I'm going to put you on the overhead. Y'all don't forget to grab your fan club points. Tap the screen. Share this out to anybody you think might want to enjoy art tutorials with us. Learn to watercolor. And let's get started. All right. So what we're going to do first is we're going to have to do a background. And I want to do a background that's going to have sand, and then maybe a little bit of sky and some dark water. So that's kind of how I want to do the background. So I'm thinking I'm going to do the sand first. So I'm going to just put some water right down here at the bottom. And I'm going to add in some brown or some ochre and brown mixed together. And kind of just add in some spots here and there for the sand. Then take some water and just kind of spread that out so that we have that sand there. And then maybe some areas that we want it to be a little bit darker. And that's it. Like there's no difficulty to this, okay? Let's go ahead and dry this. And then I'm going to do the turtle itself. And then after I do the turtle, we will add in the sky and the water around him. Okay? So dry up your sand. Okay, and let's go ahead and draw out our turtle. Okay, so I'm going to take my mechanical pencil and we are going to first have his feet, and they're going to come right here like this on both sides. I'm going to go ahead and start by drawing those feet because that gives me an idea of where to go with his belly. So we're going to go up with the legs, and they're going to come in to his little shell. And this one too, we're going to go in like this. And that came out a little weird, so let me fix that shape. There we go. All right, so we have his little legs. Now we're going to have his belly, and it's going to come down like this. I'm going to just do 3 little sections for his belly, his shell belly. Okay. And we're going to draw out each section. So we're going to make a little section here. We're going to make a section here. And we're going to make a little section here. And then we're going to divide this section into 2 parts. So we're going to have a line that goes up, and it's going to go in and around like that. And then this section is going to do the same. It's going to go in and around like that. And that is how we get our little underbelly of the shell. Okay. And then it looks to me like he's got this kind of center little neck coming out like this. And then we have his face, which is going to be a big smiley face. And then it's going to come around like this. Okay. And then we're going to bring his shell. Well, first he's got his little arm sections where his arms are coming in. So that is kind of like this. Actually, I think they need to curve in a little bit more. So I'm going to erase them and curve them in just a tad more like this. Like that. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to curve him in like this. Like that. And that gives us that little area where they kind of connect like that. And then we have the shell coming out here. Okay. So we're going to have a little piece of the shell that comes down right here and up. And out of that is going to be his back foot. So his back foot kind of comes like this and like that. And it comes out like that. And then we're going to make his little toes. And his little toes there. Okay, so that's his back foot. And this is part of the shell right here. Okay. But this comes out above that. So let's go ahead and bring this around a little bit more. And then close that off like that. And then the rest of his shell starts right there. Okay, so the rest of his shell is going to come around like this. Hang on. Got to fix that. Let's move over to this side. We'll come back to that. All right, so over here, we are going to do round, round, to do round, 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 round. And to do round, 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 round. And again, have the shell come down like this. And then his foot comes out. And it comes to a little point there. like that. And let's draw this section of the shell. It's going to come around and up and over and down. And then this comes here like that. All right. So now right here, this little section of the shell has to come out just a tad. So it needs to come like this. And then that gives us this little square part to draw here. And then around here and down. All right, let me see what I've got going on wrong here, because these should match and they don't. So let me fix this. So this goes like this, and then this. Still not matching. Hang on. I'm going to... There we go. That's better. Okay, it's not going to be exact, but it'll be close. All right. Hey, Angel. How are you? All right, so let's go ahead and draw the rest of the shell now around his face. So we're going to come up about midway, and we're going to bring it in like this. And we're just going to keep going kind of around him like that. And up over the top like this. And again, we'll do that same thing here. We'll start and we'll go around, and then we'll come around like that. So now we have his little shell. The only thing I don't like is this little section right here that it's just not working for me. So let me just get it fixed, because I should have done it all exactly the same, but I was not paying attention like I should have. All right, so we're going to go down and over like that. And then we're going to come out and around and down like that. And that is going to come like this. There we go. Much better. Okay, so there's our shell. And this is our kind of underbelly part right here. Yep, that looks good. Okay. We're just going to need to fix this one right here, just a tad, and then we'll be good. So this is our underbelly, and then that's our shell. Okay. There. All right, he's all done. And we need to make his toes right here. And we need to make his eyes. So we're going to go round and round right here. We're going to give him his mouth and his two little nose holes. Okay, and we'll do his eyes and everything with detail in a minute. Okay. All right, so there is our sketch. Any questions so far? Oh no, Angel. Oh, poor baby. I hate it when I do that. I hate that so much. I always like, you know, you can't swerve because then you can cause a horrible wreck. But at the same time, like, you want to swerve. And sometimes it's like instinct to do it and you don't realize it. But yeah, I cry when I do stuff like that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use my kneaded eraser to lighten this little guy up. And then we will get going on getting him some color. Okay. All right, let's use our Mita number 1. I'm going to get my water container over here and dump it really quickly because it's kind of full. So give me just a second to get this dumped so I don't end up with a big mess. Okay. All right, so I got that done. Now let me fill this up. All right. Okay. Now we are going to go with the Meeden paints, which are wrong thing, right here. That is what we will be using. Yeah, they are. They're really good, Stacey Lee. I love them. Aw, poor baby. That's okay, Angel. If he ran off, he's probably fine. I always have to tell myself that because I'm like, you know, I can't think about it because I'm such a dog person. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is start with the green parts of him. So we're going to do his face, his arms, and his legs in the green. All right, and I'm going to use the, what do I do with my brush now? Dang it, y'all, swear. Here it is. All right, so we're going to use I think I'm going to use this green right here, whatever that happens to be. So just pick a good green that you want to use. Uh-oh, I just splattered him. I didn't mean to do that, but that's all right. We're going to splatter him later anyway. And we're going to just go in right through here with that green. And then rinse your brush and drag it down. So you don't want it to be too dark. So you want your first layer to kind of be light. So just drag it down around his eyes. I mean, you could go through his eyes if you want. We're going to use, we can go over that with dark colors, so not a big deal. Okay, and then this is green right in here too, going into his arms. So go ahead and give that just a little base of green as well. Actually, all of this is green. Forgot. Let's go ahead and add that in there. Get all that base green done, and down his little arms. And here as well. And then his feet. In the back as well. So get your all of your base green on. Okay. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to move to the olive green because I feel like that's a better green for him. See, I like that green better. So I'm going to add in some olive green, and I'm just going to spread that around. To kind of mix those colors. I just like that green better. I should have started with that, but that's all right. We're fixing it now. Okay. And go ahead and pick up any color you feel like you need to pick up, or water. In my case, it was water, not color. It just was a little wet. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead now and add in some darker shadows right around his little cheek area and right in here a little bit. Just give him some turtle shadows right up underneath his eyes. Right here under his chin a little bit. And then we're going to definitely darken up these areas right here around his arms. Okay, and then once we get that kind of where we want it, we're going to dry it up. Don't worry about the dots on his arms just yet. We'll get to those, but and the stripes and all that. We're just getting kind of a base down first. Okay. All right, now I'm going to pull out my detail brush. I'm going to pull out the, probably the 18. Let me see what I've got. I'm not sure what size I want to pull out just yet. I'm going to use the 18. And I'm going to take some of that olive green, and I'm going to go ahead and give his arms a little bit of those stripes. Do the same thing on this one. Talia. It's okay. The upload. I'll upload it. All right. So let's go around here. Get those stripes in. Okay, and then on his neck area, we're going to do that same thing. We're going to make a dark kind of a shadowy area right here. And a shadowy area right here. And then we're going to give his neck some just back and forth lightly. Some stripes like that. just like that. Okay. Now on his arms, okay, we're going to have them coming out from the inside of those stripes. So make sure those are going on the, you know, on the outsides of where his arms come into his body. Okay, like that. Okay. All right, now for his chin, we're going to take and we're going to do just a few little stripes right here underneath his chin. And then we're going to give him this line that's going to separate that chin from his neck. Okay, just like that. And I'm just going to go ahead and go around his head. Now just remember, it's okay if they look like a hot mess to start. Okay, that will get better. Okay, so just remember that. Okay, all right. Now let's go ahead and give him a few more little shadows right around his eye and nose area, and then right along the side of his head right here. Maybe up here some. Underneath his eye. And then over here on his cheeks. This is a wet on dry. So it's going to have harsh lines, and that's okay. That's kind of what we're looking for. Okay. All right. Maybe a little bit right up here. And right here. Okay. All right. Now we are going to go onto his feet or his legs, and we're going to give them an outline and then give them their spots. We do want this to kind of come out just a tad right there, and then bring his feet. I'm going to do his toes in this darker. Again, I'm using that olive. Okay, and then we're going to do his spots. And turtle spots are kind of square. They're not really dots. They're kind of like giraffes. They're kind of square shaped. So that's what we're going to do with them. Isn't it, Anita? That's what I love about watercolors. They're always soothing. Okay, just keep giving him his little dots, however you want to do it. No rhyme or reason to it. And there is definitely no right or wrong to the way that these fit together. Just kind of make them like a little puzzle piece with gaps in between the pieces. That's the best way to describe how to do this. And I just kind of relax and let it, you know, wherever my intuition says to put a square, that's where or a shape, that's what I do. I don't really think this through or overthink it at all. I just do the best I can. And that's what I do when I do giraffes as well, because this is very similar to getting spots on a giraffe. Okay, so we get his little spots on that leg done, and then we move over to the next one. I'm going to do his toes. And then start adding in those spots over here. And my hand does tend to start getting tired when I'm doing this detail work like this. So when you're doing that, if you try to keep this part of your hand relaxed, because if you grip your brush too hard, it's going to make your hand get tired, and you don't want to do that. So that's okay, Talia. No worries. Y'all don't forget to grab your fan club points. if you guys are in the fan club and you like to get those engagement points for your account and for mine. It's always helpful. So I do try to look at my other arm and try to see, you know, try to make it kind of cohesive, but obviously not exactly the same because they won't be, but you do want them to be at least semi-cohesive. Thank you so much, Stacy Lee, for that rose. Sometimes I forget and don't get enough water on my detail brushes to get it to go smoothly. So you want to make sure with detail brushes, it can be hard and difficult to get enough water because of the fact that they're little. You just want to make sure you get as much, you know, so that it goes on smooth. All right, so there's that arm. Now let's do the back feet. We'll go ahead and get this back foot. And these don't have as many. And they're kind of just in the center. Like that, so. And then the toes actually go like up like that and then come down like this. So they have this area in the front that's lighter. So you want to make sure you give them that. And they also have more of a little kind of point to them than the front ones do. All right, let's move on to this one. And turn him around so I can do him this way, since I'm right-handed. Okay. So we're getting those little claws in the back there. Okay. And now let's do his little spots. All right, so we have his spots. Now also there's a little shadow that should be happening right here. So let's go ahead and kind of blend that out with some clear water and make that shadow happen. And the same thing right here. We need a little bit of a shadow there. Okay, and let's see. All right, so now let's go ahead and get his face done, because I feel like his face needs to be done. This is stressing me out, though. This is not where it needs to be. It needs to be darker, so I'm going to fix this. I feel like these are not dark enough. Okay. All right. Now let's do his face. All right. So first we're going to go ahead and pull out whatever waterproof pen you're going to use. I'm using the Grabby multi-liners. And I'm going to use the, I'm going to start with the 005 and probably I might do the 01 as well. So I'm going to take those out and we're going to use those for his face. Mouse Mom, it's just an extra piece of wood that I had left over from some of my Glowforge projects. It is a 4 by 6 piece of 1/4 inch. It's not even 1/4 inch, it's an 1/8 inch. 1/8 inch, what is it called? I can't remember the kind of wood it is. It's a press board is what it is. Yeah, it's like it's almost the same as clipboard, yes. Yep, exactly. All right, let's go ahead and get his mouth, his smile. MDF, thank you, Anita. For some reason, it was leaving me, and I work with it all the time, and I have to go buy it all the time, and for some reason, I was just drawing a blank. Yes, it's MDF. Good grief. I'm telling you guys, my brain is not working today. All right, let's do the nose. And the nose. And then let's do our eyes. So when we do our eyes, we're going to do the first part of the eye first. We're going to do this like big circle part, okay? And then we're going to do the white part. Okay, and then, or blue, or whatever color you want it to be. And then we're going to do the black part. So we have the lid, we have the white, and then we're going to have the black right here. Okay, and we're just going to color that in. And then we're going to bring the bottom of that down, and this kind of goes out like this. Okay. And we're going to do some detail with the green right there, right up underneath his eye. We're going to get those little lines that kind of follow. Just like that. Okay. And then we're going to do the other side the same way. Then we'll put the highlights in just a second. Okay. I'm going to rinse my brush and kind of blend that shadow out some. And this is why you use a waterproof blush or pen when you're doing this, so that you don't mess it up. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take I'm going to take my detail brush first, and I'm going to put a little bit, actually I'm going to leave that white. I'm going to leave it white. But I am going to round this a little bit more. And I am going to do a little bit of the green across the top of the lid and here. Rinse my brush and blend that. So we have those green lids. And then we're going to take the white and we're going to give it some highlights. Now I'm going to use some white gesso. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to use my gouache. I'm going to use some white gouache as my highlights for my eyes. But you can use an acrylic marker. You can use white acrylic paint. You can use white gesso. Pretty much anything you want, as long as it's not translucent like white watercolor. Because that will not... Oh, hang on, guys. 1 second. I was pulling out the wrong one. All right. So I'm going to use the gouache. And all I'm going to do is just dip my brush in here. I'm not even going to pull it out. And I'm going to give myself a little bit of a highlight there. And there. Same thing over here. I'm going to do highlight there. And right here. I'm just barely touching, guys. So that there's highlights. Okay. And I'm going to leave it alone. Okay. I am going to lighten up this right here. Just blending this out with clear water. It's a little bit dark and it's kind of messing up the way the eyes look. It's a little bit dark and it's kind of messing up the way the eyes look. So I just added some clear water and I'm going over that. Okay. All right, that's better. Okay, so we have our eyes done. We could add in some eyelashes if we wanted to. I'm going to give him these little extras right there. Ooh, I touched that with wet. I hope I didn't mess up my marker. Didn't realize it was wet. Let me dry that. All right, now it's time to work on his shell. Okay, so we're going to shift back to our Meeden brushes and our watercolor set. I'm going to clean my water, get some fresh, clean water. And I think the colors that I'm going to use for his shell. Yes, Stacy Lee, I see your comments coming through. They've all come through that I know of, unless you said something different. Yeah, the bleed-proof white. Yep. Yep, that works really well, too. I have some of that somewhere. I just don't know where it's at. Yep. Yep, we can see them, Stacy Lee. I just don't always respond right away because I don't always see everybody's comments right away. I have to go back and look because y'all are on the overhead, so my phone isn't directly in front of me to see the comments coming through. I have to look over onto my computer, so I don't always see them right away. Okay. The bottom part of the shell is going to be this sandy color that we kind of used for the sand. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this. It was the harvest. I used the harvest gold and I used this rust red. Those are the two that I used. No, I didn't. I'm sorry. And I used the raw umber. So I used the harvest gold and the raw umber to create the sand color. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the ochre and the raw umber for the shell. Okay. The bottom part of the shell. Okay, so I'm going to grab the ochre first, and I'm going to go in, and I'm going to just give the shell kind of a bit of an outline. And keep in mind that this right here is also part of the tummy shell, which is lighter than the upper shell. So we'll be using that as well. So we're going to fill this in, and we're going to fill this in. With this ochre. Okay. Now, while that is still wet, we're going to go ahead and create our lines of our shell with the raw umber by going down the lines and making those distinctions. So very light touch. You don't want it to spread too much, but you do want it to spread some, so you don't want it to be dry. You want it to have this kind of shadowy fade look to it. I'm even going to go along the bottom. Like that. And then I'm going to go in here. Like that. And then I'm going to go in here at the top and down the side. And right here at the top and down the side. Add in some water if you need to get it to look right. Okay. Now I'm going to dry that. And then we're going to go in and we're going to do a wet on dry with some more shadows. We're going to use our detail brush to do this. I'm using the 18 out of the Golden Maple set. So we're going to take the raw umber and go ahead and put some water on that so it can be conditioning. All right, so I'm going to take this raw umber and I'm going to go in and kind of give some definition to how these kind of connect. So it's going to kind of give it those shadows. Okay. So wherever there's a dark kind of widened out shadow, you want to add that in. So there's going to be one that kind of comes up right here. And also right here slightly. Okay. And then we want to go down like this. This is going to kind of widen out at the top here. And then you're going to get kind of a dark line right here that connects to it. Okay. So see how those wet shadows now are highlighted by these darker areas? That's what we're going for when we start adding in these darker shadows. But you have to do it with a really light hand. You don't want it to be overpowering. Okay, now let's do the same thing up here. We're going to come kind of down right here in the corner. That's going to kind of widen out and then get thin. And then over here as well, we're going to have kind of a dark shadow here that kind of widens out, or thins out, sorry. Okay, so now we have his belly. Okay, now we're going to do that same technique, only we're going to do it with the, we're going to do it with kind of a grayish green color. So we're going to have to mix that, okay? So what I want you guys to do is get out whatever mixing palette you want and get your Meeden #1. Put some water on your palette. Get a little bit of the gray. Put that in there. Okay, and then get some of that olive green and mix that with it. Just make sure it's not too green. So I got a little bit too much green, so I'm going to go ahead and add some more gray in with that because I don't want it to be super green. I want it to have just kind of a hint of green to it, and that's it. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take that color that we mixed, okay, and we're going to put it on the, you're going to put it on the insides of the shell. And you're going to kind of leave a line that's free of water, okay? So you want an outside area that's kind of white, okay? So don't worry about, like, going all the way to the edge is what I'm saying. Like, you want to give it kind of this. And I still think that's a little bit too green, so I'm going to add in a little bit more gray. Okay. And same thing here. Just go ahead and add in, just give yourself some white space around your squares, okay? Now, go in with a black, okay? Go ahead and grab some black, and not a ton, but go ahead and just kind of give it a few little touches of black while it's still wet to give it some depth to it, okay? Not too much. And if it looks too spidery, go ahead and dry your brush and just kind of blend a little bit so that you don't have those spider veins popping out, okay? All right. Now go ahead and continue through This top one, we're going to go almost to the edges completely. I'm going to add my black. Okay. Same thing here. That one doesn't need any black. It looks good the way it is. Now, in case you're wondering, I did a turtle the other day out of the Watercolor with Me in the Forest. And this is how she did the shell, or this is how it said to do the shell in the book. So I'm doing it, I'm using that same technique on this particular turtle, even though it's not the same colors or anything like that. But I'm using the same technique because it gives you that two-tone looking shell. And I like the way that it turned out. So that is why I'm doing it this way, instead of filling it all in and then adding shadows. This gives us those areas where we can put our darker lines in, and it's going to give it a lot more depth. So I'm just giving myself a little bit of space in between all of my parts there. Okay. All right, so let's draw this. It was that Watercolor with Me in the Forest book that I have, Mass Mom. I don't know if I have it in here or not. Let me look. It is, hang on, just a second. It was sold out, but I think it's back in stock. It's this one right here. This book right here, it's a really good book. It has like, it just gives you like step-by-step how to do different watercolor techniques. And I really, really like it. So I was practicing the other day, and it had a turtle in it. So let me show you the turtle so you can see what I'm talking about right here. It had this little guy. And it said to wet each section. It said to wet each section of the shell, and then add in, wet each section. It said to wet each section of the shell, and then add in your color of dry paper in between each section, so you have room to do these like darker lines. So that is the technique that I'm using to do this guy. The thing is that and I said this in one of my videos about this book, is that you can take the techniques you learn in this book and you can shift them to drawings that are not in that book, and it's very, very beneficial. So that is kind of what I did. So, all right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take, and I'm going to go, I don't know if I need to go, I'm going to do a dark gray. Okay, so I'm going to get a black, and I'm going to add into this gray. Okay, I don't want it to be black, but I want it to be a blackish gray. So I added a little black to it. Okay, and now I'm just going to kind of go along here and go in between my spots to get my shell happening. And you can clean it up. You can add more water to it if you need to lighten it up. But what I'm going to do is now I'm going to go in a little while with some highlights and add some highlights to the middle of the shell, and it's going to look really nice. So just be patient and trust the process, because it may look a little bit messy to start. But once the process is complete, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Sorry, I didn't mean to leave that pinned. Here, there we go. All right. So again, all I did was just water down my gray with some black and darken it up a little bit from what we were using. Okay. We're just going around him in these gaps that we left. Okay, so now we have his shell kind of a little bit mapped out. So now we're going to go in, and first we're going to do some highlights, okay? So what I want to do is I'm going to take some of my gouache, the white gouache, and I'm going to put it right here on my desk so I can get to it. And I'm just going to add a little bit of water to it. And I'm going to add just a tad bit of gray to it so it's not completely white. And not gray gouache. I just added gray water, gray watercolor. And I'm going to go along the highlighted and just kind of highlight some of these areas of his shell. And this is going to kind of fade into the image, and that's good. We don't want it to be, gouache is more opaque than watercolor, but when you're doing it the way that we're doing it with lots of water, it's still going to kind of fade in, and that's what we want, because we don't want those highlights to be too white, but with white watercolor, you wouldn't notice them at all. But with gouache, you're going to see them, but they're not going to be overpowering. Okay, just wipe that up. Now you can use a gel pen if you want to do this. You can use acrylic paint. You can use gesso. Like, you can do it however you want. Just make sure it's not super overpowering, but that you have the highlights. You want the highlights to be there. Okay. Now let's dry it. And then once we dry it, we're going to come back through with a little bit of black. And we're going to give it some low light little details, okay? Whoops. So we're going to do that with our Grabby 005, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in right up underneath this right here, and I'm going to just give it some definition. I'm going to come along the highlight here and give it a little bit of definition. And you're just going to look for areas where you feel like it needs just a little, some shadows. And you're going to start adding them. Just kind of follow the contour of the shell wherever you feel like you need to have some of those darker areas to kind of give it depth. Okay. Okay. So that looks good. I don't think I want, well, maybe a few right here. Maybe a little bit right here. All right, I think that looks good. Sometimes I tend to get carried away when I'm doing detail work. Okay, so now I'm going to go right along here, and I'm going to come in with a little bit of hatching in the corners where I feel like there needs to be a little bit of shadows. Just do that hatching. Not cross hatching, I just did regular hatching. You can even do some stippling right along here if you want to. And right here. Like that. And maybe right here in the corner a little bit. Like that. All right, that looks good. Now let's think about the face and see if the face needs anything extra. feel like it needs to be a little bit more defined right through here. Let's give the toes a little bit and give them some little wrinkles in the skin here. And here. Maybe even a few little hatchings right through here in the arm areas. Thank you. All right, let's see. I think that looks good. What do you guys think? I feel like that looks pretty decent. Now I want to have a water line right here. So I'm going to take my #1 brush, because I want him to be like he's on the beach, and just make a little bit of a water line right here. So I'm going to take this blue, and I'm going to do kind of a heavy blue at the top. Then I'm going to rinse my brush and dry it off. And I'm just going to kind of spread that down to kind of fade onto the beach like that. And I'm going to do that same thing over here on this side. So I'm putting clear water in. And then I'm going to... Bye, Angel. It was good to see you. Thank you, Carry On Shopping. Thunder and Smokey, you can do whatever you want, honey. And if you want to copy it and sell it, go right ahead. It's not going to hurt my feelings a bit. As a matter of fact, this tutorial will be uploaded to my Tube of You channel for anybody to have. So whatever you would like to do is perfectly fine. I am not picky. I am one of those people that believe there is enough room at the table for us all. So you do not ever have to worry about that. Okay, so now we have our beach, our water kind of flowing up around him. And then I think we should just simply do a very, very light blue in the sky. Yes, Carry On, you can go, yeah, you can get that channel anytime. I upload all of my tutorials there. So they're always there for you guys to grab the replay if you miss my lives, or if you want to do it again, or whatever you want. I do not care. It is there for you guys. So I'm doing just a very light blue in the sky, okay? I don't want it to be super noticeable, and I don't want it to take away from the blue of the ocean. I'm using the macaroon blue in this palette, which is the 96 color Meeden palette that's pinned below. Okay. So there's that. So let's go ahead and dry him up. Uh-oh, you know what? I think I messed up my water there just a little bit. Let me fix that first. Get some of that blue and just, oops. That's a little bit much. Bring it right across here like this. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's all right. Probably should have waited till it was dry to try to fix it. That's all right. Yes, it is, Carry On. The 96 color is awesome. I mean, I love them both. I use the 48 color too, But yes, the 96 color palette is great. I'm going to go back and fix this again now that that's dry. There we go. That's better. Still not perfect, but it's better. All right, now I think he looks good. The only other thing that I would do is I would grab some colored pencils, maybe a little bit of the dark brown right here in the edges. I'm going to add those to the corners just a little bit right here. A couple of these places just to bring those shadows out just a tad. Now, I could add in more if I wanted to. I think we did a good job of shading him without needing to do too much, but if I was going to do something, it would be on the shell, and I would use maybe some darker grays kind of in these areas right here a little, but I don't even think I need that, honestly. I think the black hatching looks fine. I'm gonna not. I don't want to mess him up. I think he looks good. So I'm just gonna leave him like that and not use too much today. Maybe bring that out just a little with this dark gray. There, that looks good. There, okay. Yep, right. I know I tend to fuss with it a lot. That's what I do. I tend to like fiddle around with it. Now I do want some green under his chin. I want to work on that because I'm not happy with the way that those shadows turned out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in right here with this. I'm going to use this light green to kind of blend it. And then I'm going to go with the dark and kind of go over it like that. And right up underneath his chin there. And then I'll do that again with a little bit heavier touch or heavier pressure. And just give that shadow a little bit more. And then one more time right here. And that's going to brighten up that, or not brighten it up, but that's going to give that a little bit better depth than what I did. So that's going to make that stand out a little bit more. Okay. And then we're going to go right along, wrong one, right along here, just to kind of bring that together. Make that a little more cohesive. A little bit here. want to fuss too much with it, but I definitely want it to be cohesive coloring, so we don't want to mess with it too much. There we go. Okay, and let's give his little face a little bit of that green color right here and right here to kind of bring that together. And then go over the top and blend that out. All right. Okay, I think he looks good. Yes, I'm using the I'm using the light yellowish green. I'm using the kiwi green, and I'm using the aquamarine. Those were the 3 greens that I used. The dark gray that I used and the dark browns that I used. Let's see. I used the dark brown and I used the apricot yellow. And the grays, I used the dark gray and I used the light brownish gray. Okay. All right, let's do some splatter on this puppy and we'll be done with him. I think he is amazing. I love the way that he is turning out, but you know, I'm going to want to, you know what? I may not do splatter. You know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm just going to do a couple little birds right here. What do y'all think? I'm going to do a bird right here and right there. And maybe one over here. I still want to do some blue splatters. Can't help it. Sorry, guys. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. All right. Let me cover his face up so he doesn't get messed up. I'm just going to kind of do it in the sky area. There we go. Love it. All right, let's go ahead and dry him up. And then we'll take his little tape off and we can see what he looks like. No, I don't think it was too hard. It was tedious. It had a lot of detail in it, but it wasn't hard. Okay. So now we have to peel our tape to reveal our cute little amazing turtle. Timmy the turtle. Isn't he cute? I'm going to turn my air on, y'all, so it's getting warm in here this time of day. So if it gets loud in here, I apologize, but I have a window unit in my studio, so. No, the shell isn't hard. It's just shapes, and you draw it one section at a time. It's not difficult at all. You can do it. Just follow how I do it, and there's a couple times that I erase, so, you know, you just play with it until you feel comfortable where it's at. You just have, if you have to, erase and start over. It's not a big deal. I can't tell you how many times I have to start over and, you know, erase and start again. So there he is. I think he looks really cute. I like how he turned out. I even like the harsh lines around his eyes right there. I think that looks really good. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial today. I think I loved your Charlie Brown characters. They were amazing. So good. You're getting really, really good at that. I love all your drawings, though. I think they're all great. Okay, so here he is. I think he turned out good. What do you guys think? Did y'all have fun? Yeah, that's the, this is not a sketchbook. It's an art class book. It's a really good book. I do hope that you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. I am going to do my best to be on at 10 in the morning, at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow. Fingers crossed, I get a decent night's sleep and I'll be able to get up and do that for you guys. Yay, I love it, little sister. I'm so excited. Just so y'all know, I did get the gnome uploaded to my YouTube of You channel. So I still have to do the card. Oh, let's see. Let me look real fast so I can tell y'all what's up there and what's not. I think I have everything except for the... let me find my playlist. Okay, so I have everything up to the gnome. I have these are done. I do not have the card yet, and I don't have the Bible art done yet that we did on Friday, the devotional and Bible art we did on Friday. And let's see. I don't have the watermelon up yet. So I still have 3 things plus today. So I have 4 things that are not up yet. The card will go up today. The watermelon hopefully will go up today as well. And then the other 2 today's and Fridays will go up in the next day or 2. Okay. So that is, so you guys know. Plan for tomorrow is that we are going to be here at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time unless something changes. But as of now, I plan to be here at 10 in the morning because I do have my grandkids tomorrow afternoon, so I can't do tomorrow afternoon at all because the kids will be here. So if maybe we try to make it 11 tomorrow. I don't know. What do y'all think? Maybe let's do 11 tomorrow. We'll do 11 a.m. tomorrow. Okay, so 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. I just want to make sure that I'm not going to be overwhelmed. So, because I also have to do my quiet times in the morning, my Bible study and stuff, and I don't like to rush. And I feel like I've been rushing through my Bible studies to try to get online with you guys by 10. And I really want to have time to finish my Bible studies every morning before I get on here. So, so let's make it 11 a.m. tomorrow. So 11 a.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow for, we'll do another one on our list. So this was the turtle. I'm going to mark off the turtle on our list. Okay, maybe we'll do something summery tomorrow. Or maybe we'll do a bumblebee. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be a surprise. Yay, Talia. Okay. Well, I'll see you guys at 11 a.m. tomorrow then. I appreciate everybody hanging out with me. We used the Meet In palette today, the 96 color palette. It does come with all of these amazing, hang on, I got to get this put on here. Ugh. Comes with this detachable palette. It comes with 48 colors of your primary and secondaries, lightest to darkest. It comes with 30 metallics, 12 macaroons, and 6 neons, a pencil, a brush, an eraser, and 2 art sponges, plus this foldable palette. It's great for beginners. It's also great for the seasoned watercolor artists too. So if you're interested in joining us for any watercolor tutorials, learning how to do watercolors, we do 2 of these a week. Plus we do a card on Wednesdays. We do a lettering tutorial on Thursdays. And we do a Bible art tutorial on Fridays and devotional. So I would love for you guys to join us for any of those. And hopefully I will see you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. I love how Mr. Timmy Turtle turned out today. I think he's precious. I'm going to stay on for a little while, but I'm not going to stay on for a tutorial. I'm going to stay on and just do some, work on some of my stuff that I've been working on, just to hang out with whoever wants to hang out and work. So if you guys want to hang out and work with me, you're welcome to do that. If not, it was great hanging out with you guys, and I will appreciate it. TikTok likes us to do longer lives. They've been kind of on me because my lives have been a little short lately. So I'm just going to stick around and do some work with you guys. One of the things that I have been working on is this beach watercolor. Yeah, absolutely you could, Stacey Lee. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish this. This is the turtle that I'm working on, by the way, y'all. But this is the beach life lettering thing that I'm working on. So I am going to work on that for a little while. And I'm just going to put you guys on the overhead here so that you guys can see it if you want to. I'm going to move you all to the side though so that my hand doesn't kind of get in the way. But that is what I'm going to be working on. So, and I did, I'm using my grabby colored pens right now for this outline. So I'll put those up for you guys so y'all can see them. Let's see, where are you? Well, now I have them. Here they are. This is the set that I'm using for my outlining. Oh, I don't use green though. I want to use blue. And I think I used this blue. I'm not sure which blue I used, y'all. Have to check it and see. Let's see, where's my paper? This is my paper that I check with. Yep, I used the darker one. And I just, yeah, your swatch. Are you doing your swatches, Stacy? On your for your colored pencils, the swatches that came with it? I actually need to be swatching in my journal. I should be doing that. Maybe I'll do this letter and then switch over and swatch in my journal because I need to get all my swatches done of all my palettes. But I kind of wanted to get this finished. This is just another lettering that I've been playing around with. And doing just for practice mostly. Although I do have some earrings and stuff I need to paint too. I've got so much stuff on my plate that I really probably need to be doing a ton more than what I'm like. This is probably the lowest on the list that I need to be working on, but I'm doing it anyway because it's making me happy. So, and I think I used this. Yep. So I used this blue. Nope, I didn't use that blue. What blue did I use for this, y'all? I'm must have used the turquoise that's in my tube paints, I bet. Let me see. Yep, I did. I used this cerulean blue. Let me put that in here. I used the cerulean blue. And then I used the ochre, I think, for the brown. Yep. I love these outline pens are waterproof, so I don't have to worry about them bleeding into my art. So I can outline and not have to worry about that. I'm going to bring this dark down a little bit. Spring door signs that I need to get cut from 3mm wood for a paint along this one. Uh-oh, Carrie. Do you have a laser cutter? Or do you use a do you use a I think you told me you had one, but I can't remember what kind you said you had. That looks pretty good. I don't know how I'm going to do this palm tree just yet. I haven't decided. I think I'm going to do it with, I think I'm going to use this raw umber like this. Well, just get to cutting. Join our live. Oh yeah, that's right. You have the X tool. I'm thinking about getting the X tool. I have a Glowforge, but the X tool seems to be more versatile from a standpoint of the sizing that you can do and the depth of things that you can do. You can do things that are much thicker. Like I can't engrave tumblers because you can only do up to 2 inches in the Glowforge, and that's kind of a pain. I want to be able to engrave like tumblers. So I'm considering an X tool. So we're going to make this kind of blend. Well, hang out with us and get your cutting done. We'll all just work together. We'll call this this will be our co-working. We'll do co-working, live co-working today. Everybody get your projects going and let's just enjoy the afternoon hanging out together, getting our work done. It'll be live co-working. The S1 bundle, it comes with the conveyor to do 118 inches and the rotary tool for tumblers. Oh, cool. Yeah. I've been kind of doing some research. I'm also looking at the Thunder. The problem with the Thunder is that the footprint is so big. It's like, I mean, it'll hold, I can do a 4x8 sheet of plywood in that, but I'm looking at an 8-foot footprint in my studio, and I just don't think I have the space for that unless I got a separate studio just for my laser stuff. And while I do a ton of it, because I do wedding packages. It keeps me very busy, and I know it would pay for itself in no time. I just don't know if I have the room, honestly. I'm really concerned about the room, you know? So I'm still not sure if I want to do what kind of shading I want to do to make this tree look more natural. I think I'm going to do some darker green right at the base here. But like I said, this is just one of my fun little lettering projects. It's not one this isn't like a commission or anything. I just am practicing my lettering with this, so it's not a big deal if it doesn't turn out exactly the way that I want it to. But I was thinking that it would look good if I added some kind of dark blends to it right here at the base, where the brown kind of blends in with the tree. So I'm thinking I'll go right here and do a dark green. Kind of blend that in. Right through here. We could do it with colored pencils too if I wanted to go in afterwards with that. Am I using a pen? No, this is a number one, the Meeden number one brush, Kelly. It is right here. It's this set right here. It's the number one in this set. And it does really good work. You can outline and all kinds of stuff pretty well. Now the lettering at the top, I did use a pen. I used the Grabby for this right here. All right, so that looks good for now. I'm gonna just leave that. I just wasn't sure. I wanted to do the tree before I did the bee. And I wasn't really sure how I was going to make that happen and look halfway decent, but I'll put some detail work into the tree with my grabby pen, and it'll look really nice when I get done. Oh, thank you, Stacy Lee. Thank you so much. This was the tutorial that we did today. For those of you who came in late, this was our tutorial earlier that we just finished up. And that will be uploaded to my Tube of View so that you have access to that tutorial if you're needing it. If you missed it, let's go ahead and get the bee on this done. These are the grabby pins. Yeah, I'm going to put some coconuts on it. And these are the ones that have the colored and the black together. So this set comes with 10 waterproof colored pens and 10 black waterproof pens. So if you are looking for a good waterproof pen, you need me to help you, babe? Don't hold it, honey. It'll do it itself. You gotta let it go. Sorry, honey. Oh, I guess here. Just take one of these. Here. Sorry, guys. Hang on. There you go. My husband came in to sharpen his pencil that he works with out in the house. We're putting in our front windows of the restoration today. We have an 1860s home that we have purchased, and it was not livable, and we are restoring it ourselves, and he is working on the windows today in the front, getting those big picture windows in today. This is going to be really nice. Okay. All right, so back to our Eden paints now. So we're going to go back to this set right here. And this set has 96 colors in it. Or I'm sorry, this is the 48, the tube paints that I'm using. Sorry, let me redo that. Yeah, these are the 48 tube colors. And I put them in a tin like this because there's an empty tin that Eden makes. And so I just squirt them in here and then I refill them when I need to. I'm using the cerulean blue out of this set to start the top part of the letters. So I'm using the cerulean blue, and I am then rinsing my brush and using clear water to drag that down the letter, and it'll get lighter as it goes down like this. So I'm just dragging it down into here. Okay, and then I'm going to stop there because I want to have a little bit of a whitish area. And then at the bottom, I'm using the ochre. And I'm going to bring that in right across here. And I'm doing the same thing with that. I'm going to get a clear brush, like clean water on my brush, and just kind of drag that up. I need to have my paper towel. Hang on. And I'm going up with that clear water into the blue and just blending those together. So you have that sand look and that water look coming together. Just like that. Okay, same thing on the, like the sand down here. I'm gonna do this, this is an ochre color, and I'm just gonna sand it, like just get it kind of wet and make it look different tones. I'm not using any kind of, you know, I don't care if some of it's darker or lighter than the other because it's sand, and sand is gonna be different in all the different areas on the beach. So I'm just kind of mixing it. And then I'm going to take my darker ochre and I'm going to kind of bring that in, rinse my brush, take some clear water and kind of blend that in as well in some areas. To get the sand. And just let that dry. We might even put a starfish or something on the beach. And we might do, so let's go ahead and get our sea outlined. And again, this is just a practice lettering image. I'm just trying to improve on my lettering skills. So it's definitely not going to be perfect at all. It's going to have lots of mistakes in it. But the idea is to improve every time. Yep. That is exactly right, Stacy Lee. I'm so excited that you got those pencils. You're going to love them. You got such a good deal on them too. You got them for what? Under 20 bucks, I think, which is crazy because they're like 40 something dollars normally, or maybe even 50. So you did good. Clear water, drag it down. And then the ochre. And then clear water and drag it up. Okay. And then let's go ahead and do our... Guys, if y'all have any questions about any of the products that are in my shopping bag, if it's in there, I own it. So I'm happy to pull it out and show you anything that you have questions on and why I love it. Because I only, you know, I'm only going to put products in there that I use regularly that I love. So if you guys are, if y'all have any questions, let me know. Yes, it was meant for you to get them, Stacy Lee. It absolutely was. For sure. let's see. These are the grabby pens. They're waterproof. Yay, I'm glad you got your turtle finished. I want to see it. Be sure you send me a copy of it so I can look at it. The pens that I'm using are waterproof. They're grabby. They're the grabby multi-liners, and they come with 10 of the colors, and they come with 10 blacks in different sizes. And I used the blacks on this part, and then I used the blue for the outline part. But the great thing is that when you put water on them, they will not smear. So I can go in here now and add the color to these letters, and I don't have to worry about smearing my paint or my outline because they are waterproof. So they won't smear. Okay. Clear water, drag it down. And then add in your sand at the bottom. This is the ochre out of this set. And then I get clear water and drag it up and blend them together. Kind of leaves almost a white gap in between, kind of like the beach. And there you have it. All right, so that is our, that gets us the base coats on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my grabby 005, which is going to be out of this set right here, these waterproof multi-liners. And I am going to add in some detail to my palm tree. Let's see. There we go. Starting to kind of get a little bit of life to it. Hey Jamie, yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm gonna I was just gonna hang out and work on some things with everybody. There's no reason to hop off. I can just visit and work at the same time. And TikTok tends to want us to do longer lives lately. I've been getting kind of some notices on my lives are a little short, so I want to make sure that I'm kind of following what they want. So I figured I'll just sit on here and work. I have to work anyway, and I would be sitting here doing this without a camera, so why not? Just do it on camera, right? Doesn't matter to me. Okay. And then let's go ahead and bring this down. Oh, you cleaned your coop and showered. You got to shower after you clean the coop. Good grief. All right. I'm just going to do some like little squigglies here. The way that this tree goes. It should have thinned out or widened out. Actually, I should have widened that out at the base. Let me see if I can do that. Well, let's see if I can fix that. Because it should have come down like this. Kind of got wider. I don't know if that made it better or worse, but since this is practice, it doesn't matter. All right, that looks better, I think. Oh yeah, I hate it when I do that. When you just, and then it takes forever to clean it out. And then you got to change out all the shavings and everything. You can't like reuse anything. You got to just rake the whole thing. I feel that. I do. There we go. That's better. All right. So there is my practice of my sand and beach. Let me get my brown grabby and see if I can add in some. There. All done. This one I did the other day too, practicing just for fun. So, anyway, and this was the turtle that I'm working on out of that book. This is, let's see, Watercolor with Me in the Forest. I don't use her drawings. I like to use my own, so I'm doing it in my book instead of in the book itself. But I'm following the instructions that she's telling me, and it's looking pretty good so far. And I might finish that in a little while, but right now I'm going to be working on my swatching for my Meeden paints because I need to get those finished. So these are the Meeden 48 color tube paints. And I created me a journal to swatch, to keep all of my swatch cards in. And so I want to get those swatches for this particular set finished because I'm always having to search for what color it is, and I'm having to count through my stuff. So I just figured it would be easier if I would just go ahead and get them swatched. So I put them all in this tube, or in this little tin. But hang on, let me see if I can get this out. I know I can because I pull it out all the time. Come on. Well, maybe not. Maybe I'll have to leave it in the tin. But I created this little swatch card, and I want to use almost 3 hours, Jamie, which I think is crazy, but you know, they like them to be a while. Which I feel like is a very long time to be on, but also I guess if I'm doing just working, I might as well do it. So so anyway, these are the swatch cards for these paints. These are what the paints look like. Let me pull them out. And I am going in order. So I have done through this peach blossom color right here. So my next row is going to be these 6. And the way that I did this 10 was I went in the same order they were. So I did this whole row, and I did it all across here. And then I started and went down like this and worked my way up. So, no, sorry. I did like this, and then I started again here and went like this. So it goes like this, and then like this. So I have to put them in the right order on my swatches so that I don't get confused when I'm looking them up to see what colors I might need. So it's kind of a pain. I really want to be able to pull this out of here though, so I'm going to try to get this out so that my 10 is not in my way. There we go. All right, that's what I wanted. So this is how I'm going to do this. Is I'm going to do I'm using the 005 waterproof liner out of the Grabby set. And I printed these on my printer, and I double-sided them. I made them double-sided so that I can do them on both sides. And then I sewed them together into a booklet with like that wax string, so that I could just slide it down into here and have my swatches together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write out the next 6 paints, which are in the set, are starting at this rose and working our way, all the way across. So I'm going to do those. So I'm going to do rose, you know what, I'm not going to use the 005 though. I'm going to use the 01, I think. And then we're going to do purple red. Then we are doing the dioxazine violet. And then we are going to do the, let's see, the purple gray. And then the purple pale. And then the brilliant purple. Okay. Now I'm going to swatch them. I'm going to start with that rose, which is right here. It's one of my favorites. So in the small box, I try to do the solid color as much as possible. So I want it to be like really concentrated and super, so you can see what the color is in its full, beautiful glory. So no shading or shadowing in the small box, the full color. And then I go in and I take that same thing and I'll do the full color at the top, just like this, and then rinse my brush and drag that down so I can see how it shades and how it lightens up as it goes. Then I do that same thing from left to right over here. So I'll rinse and then I'll just push it. So one is a drag and one is a push. So I can see the coloring. And that way I can tell exactly what color I've got. Then I dry it out. And then we'll do the next color. Thanks, Brent. Okay. All right, so now we're going to work on the purple red, which is next to it. It's right here. Let me just move this down so y'all can see it. Yep. Okay. So that's this one. And again, these are the tube paints. So this is what this color looks like in the tube. Okay. Right here. And I'm going to do the fully concentrated color in the square. It's not much darker than the rose, but it is slightly darker. And you can see the difference in the tubes too. Here's the rose and here's the purple red. So it's just one, like maybe one shade darker, and that's it. Thanks, Brent. I'll be following you back. As soon as I get off of here, I will hit the follow button. I can't follow from my phone right now because it's over my head, but I do at the end. I like to go back and follow everybody, so thank you. All right, so now I'm going to do the fully concentrated color here and rinse my brush, and then take that clear water and just kind of drag it down and see how that fades out. And then we're going to do it from a pushing movement. So we'll do it here on the left side, rinse the brush, and then just push that color across. Oops. And then dry it out. So this is this swatch book that I did. I created myself in Photoshop and printed it out, and I double-sided it on watercolor paper, and I stuck it in my DIY Louise Carmen planner so that I could keep all my swatches together in one planner, and that way when I need to look, I don't have to search for the swatch card. I'm constantly losing my swatch cards for my different palettes, so I thought that by doing this, I would be able to just pull one thing, keep up with one thing, and all my swatches will be in it. So that is the plan. So that is why I am swatching. This first set that I'm swatching is the 48 color Meeden tube paint set. I love this set of paints too, by the way. The colors are really, really nice. And they blend really well and all the things. So I really like this set of paints. This is the one I use when I'm doing a lot of my lettering. I use this set for my lettering stuff because it is super smooth going across the paper, And so I can control pressure really well with this set. So it's the one I use for that usually. Okay, now we're doing the purple pale, which is so weird because I don't know why that was the purple gray. Okay, here's the purple pale. And it is much paler. It looks like it's going to be brighter, but when you put it on paper, it's definitely not. Okay. The credit yet for me getting. Yes, Stacy Lee, I did. Thank you for that. It doesn't show me who buys them, but it shows me when they're bought. And so when you messaged me and said you got them, I went and looked and it had it on there. So it only shows me who buys them when I'm on live. But when I'm on my normal account, it doesn't show me. It just shows me that it was bought. It just doesn't say by who, though. All right, next is going to be the Brilliant Purple. This is my favorite. I love this color. Just want to make sure it's as dark as it can get it in this box up here because I want to know what the really dark pigmented color looks like. So that's why I do this little box in the dark. And then I bring it down so you can see how it blends out to that beautiful color. All right, so let's dry all these out. And then we'll move on to the next row. All right, so the next row is now to turn the air off because I'm cold. Okay. All right, so the next row that we're going to be doing is we're working from here, and then we're going to come back around to here and go up. So it goes like this in my palette. We did this whole row, and now we are doing this row from this side over. So I'm going like this in the pattern. So that's how I know what colors to write on my swatches. So I'm going to start right here at this ultramarine color. Okay, so we're going to go ultramarine. And then we're doing the phthalo. I always have to look at the spelling on phthalo. Phthalo. Oh, that's an A. Phthalo blue. And then we're doing the Prussian blue. And then we're doing the indigo. We were working on indigo the other day. We were working on our rainbow colors. Indigo blue. And then we're going to do the olive green. And then the phthalo green. Okay. Okay. All right. So again, we're going to start here with the ultramarine. So I'm going to make sure that that's super dark. Hang on, I need to look at something here. Just a second. Okay. So I like it to be as dark and as concentrated as possible in my square. And then we'll go the dark up at the top, rinse, and then blend. And then we do the same thing here with a push and push it. Okay. Now we're going to jump over to this side of the palette to move on. Oh, hey, baby. How's it going? Does your mom know that you're on? Oh gosh, Carrie, I hate that too. That's so frustrating. I've done it a million times. And if you moved it, you can't put it back in either because it's so accurate that it gets off. As long as you haven't moved it though, you could recut it. I hate that. Jackson, does your mom know you're on here on TikTok? Make sure she knows, okay, baby? Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure she knows you're on here. I've already done my tutorial for today, Jackson. We did a turtle. Do you want me to show it to you? I'm just doing swatches right now, but we did this turtle today. Here's what we did. That was our tutorial earlier. is our little turtle. And he turned out super cute, don't you think? Very cute little turtle. All right, next we are doing the Prussian blue, which is going to be right here. I think, yeah, that's right. Man, that looks really close. Make sure I did that. Yeah. This was ultramarine. This was phthalo. And this was ultramarine, phthalo. This is Prussian. Uh-oh. I might have messed that up. Yeah, this is Prussian. Okay. Thought I messed up for a minute there. Oh, tell Riley I said hello too. See, the Prussian and the phthalo almost look the same color. But the tubes, if you look, these are what the tubes look. So this one's just slightly, barely a little bit darker. The phthalo is just a little bit darker than the Prussian. Oh, hey, Riley. You're going to come spend the night tomorrow, Jackson. After Park Day. Can't tell the lighter color. Yeah, it is a little bit darker now, you can see. That's why I like to have swatches, so I can see exactly what they're going to look like on paper, because sometimes you just can't tell until you actually get them onto a paper and use them, and then you can see the difference, especially once they're dry. All right, let's do the indigo. Uh-oh, how'd you hurt your knee? The water cleaner to sell. You're talking about the paint toilet, Jody? Is that what you're talking about? This right here. Is that what you're talking about? Because these are not in stock right now. I love them so much, but they are not in stock, unfortunately. All right, we're working on the indigo blue now. See, all these blues to me look so close together, but then once they dry, you can really tell the difference. Yep, unfortunately, they have been out since of that paint toilet. I call it the paint toilet, but since before Christmas. I got one right at the last minute before they sold out for my grandson for Christmas. But right after that, they sold out, and they have not gotten them back in stock. And I don't know why, because they're such a good product. I'm not sure why they haven't restocked them. It's weird. Yep, you have the blue one. That's right. It's the paint toilet, Samantha. She was wondering about the paint toilet. I don't know what it's called. It's a brush cleaner, but it's this right here. And you rinse your brush, and then you push this button right here, and it dumps your water, and then you get clean water. It holds a ton of water, and down here you can hold 2 of these down here, so you don't have to empty this except for every 2 times you fill this up. This lasts me so long, and it's so wonderful because I don't have running water in my studio, so I'm not constantly having to, empty out my cups and refill them and all that. It's wonderful. I call it the paint toilet, but because it kind of flushes your old water, and then gives you new water. But I think they call it the brush cleaner or something like that. But yeah, it's been out of stock since before Christmas. So like I said, I barely got one in time so I wanted to get Jackson one for Christmas because he loves mine, and we were always fighting over using mine. So I got him his own, and literally that same day they were out of stock. So I just barely got his in time. Yeah, I'm swatching the meat and tube paints, Samantha. And they are, I made like a little journal for them for all my swatches. And so this is the first set that I'm swatching in my journal. I did this I created this book that has all of the swatches in it. I double-sided it, and then I sewed it and made a little book to slide into my Louise Carmen kind of DIY journal. And I'm keeping all my swatches in here so I don't have to keep up with a swatch card for all my paints because I can never find it when I need it. So I'm just going to do them all in this one journal and keep them all in one. And oh, you do, Jamie? See, I don't. And I do love doing them, but I always feel like I should be doing something else and not swatching. Like I feel like I should be working, doing something different. And so I'm always like slow to get my swatches done. And honestly, I should do them right away, and I don't. So you're on the right track doing them right away. I love swatching though. I really do. It's super relaxing, and I love seeing the difference. Like I love this page. Like for me, this is art. Like even though it's just a swatch, I love how this looks. And all right, love y'all, sweet to swatch. I love how this looks. And all right, love y'all, sweetheart. So I'm like you, I love to do the swatches, but it seems like I always have something else on my plate that I need to do, so I don't ever get around to doing the swatches. But I decided today was the day to get at least some of these done. I was kind of hoping to get through the 48 color palette, but I don't know if I'll get through it or not because it's slow going. Not because it's slow going. Sorry guys, I lost my internet for a minute there. Oops, that's not what I want to do. Hang on. Yep, I'm back. Sorry. It kind of like my thing went out, and I was like, I thought it was the phone at first, but then it was weird. I don't know what happened. But anyway, let me get y'all situated again. All right. Anyway, let me get y'all situated again. All right, hang on one second. Right, okay, there we go. Yeah, I like looked up and was like, wait, what's going on? Okay. Push. I've got to run in and grab me some water real fast because I'm out. So I'm going to pause this for 1 second and run in and grab me some water. But I'm not sure how to pause it. So let me just check and see. There it is. Okay. All better. I just had to get me some water. Yeah, my internet randomly goes off too, Jamie. It does it. I have satellite, so it's kind of a pain. All right, so now we're gonna open up and we're gonna go from this front side over to the back side of that same page. So this is the side we just did. And I printed them. When I printed them to where they would be facing the opposite direction. So I could paint from the edge of my journal. So that's how we're doing this. So now we are going to start from the phthalo green, which is right here. So we're going to do these 6. We're going to do the deep green, the sap green, viridian, mid green, pale green, and yellowish green. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and write those in. So we're going to do the deep green. And then we're going to do the sap green. The viridian. Mid green. And pale green. And yellowish green. Okay. Dump my water. Get some clean water. And then we're going to start. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was the phthalo. So this is going to be the deep green right here. Also, when I start running low in this little tin, I can just refill it with my tube paint, but I don't have to pull these out every time. Little tin, I can just refill it with my tube paint, but I don't have to pull these out every time I need them because I simply can, I put them in this empty tin by Mead, and then I just fill them up when I need to, which is nice. All right. Okay, so I think we are at, let's see, I did 3:58, 4:50. Okay, so we're right at that 3-hour mark now, Jamie. That's how long, that's what they're wanting. So I'm just pointing that out, how long that's been, right? Okay, next we are gonna do the sap green, which is right here. So this top box is the concentrated color, as dark as you can get it, and as true a color as it's going to get with lots of pigment. That's what I do in this first box. And then I take that same true color, swipe it across the top, rinse my brush, and drag down so I can see how it fades out. Same thing on the side here. Put the concentrated color, rinse my brush, and push it over so I can see what it looks like that. So Viridian green is next. Oh, I don't know. You'd be surprised, Jamie, how many people want to watch chickens. I'd watch some of your chickens. You can go live with me and do watercolors. I can send you an invite right now. They're trying to get more people doing those, you know, combined lives too with like other people, but I don't know how to do that. So I haven't done it because I don't know how. I'm lucky to figure out what I'm doing now currently, much less anything else. All right, let's do the mid green. Okay. Swatch it down. And swatch it over. I can't imagine. Well, I can tell you that when I first started, it was really uncomfortable. I mean, still I occasionally have some, you know, reservations, but for the most part, it doesn't bother me. So I figure, you know, it is what it is. And people who don't like me don't have to watch me. They can go move on to the next person. Yeah, you might not with your chicken. That's funny. Yep, I feel that. Okay, now we're doing the yellowish green. Well, at least I made it through half of this drawer. Those are pretty colors. The feed store. Single check to a family. Aw. Of course, you can't leave him by himself. All right, the next one is going to move from this to here. So we just did this row, and now back to this row, and now we're starting here at this row and going across. So that means we are going to have the lemon yellow, the yellow pale, gamboge, mid yellow, permanent deep yellow, and then orange yellow. Oh, no, wrong one. This one. This is the lemon yellow. That is a lemon yellow. And the yellow pale is almost the same, just maybe one shade difference. And you can see that on the tube also. Turn this around. So now we're on this section. Again, only about one shade difference. Sometimes it's really hard to tell. Because it's, hey Amy, how are you? All right. See, like these all are just like one shade difference as you work up the palette, which is kind of crazy. So now we're gonna do the permanent deep yellow. We're gonna start getting into the kind of orangey colors a little bit more once we get through this deep, permanent deep yellow. It's got some more orange tones in it. Amy, did you get your earrings? Hopefully you did. So now you can see we're kind of getting into the orangey, or the more orangey yellows. Okay. Okay. Oh, we're not on that yet. I've got to write them out. Let me get this dry. Samantha, yours should be coming anytime. I didn't mail them right away, so it took me a few days. So, so you should have them in the next probably, I don't know, I would say 4 to 5 days, hopefully. If you don't, let me know, because I can look the tracking up and see. Okay, so next we're gonna do let's see, we did orange yellow. So we're gonna do orange red. And vermilion. Red. Scarlet. And crimson. Light pink. And titanium white. Okay. Now, before I do this next section, I'm going to clean off my poor little titanium white, because it has all kinds of colors mixed in with it somehow. I don't know what happened there, but clean that off so that it's a good white for me to use. Okay, now we're gonna go with the orange, red, vermilion red. All right, almost done. I'm gonna hold off on the last row of these and do those another time just because I'm tired and ready to get off of here, but I'm gonna finish this row at least. Okay, grab some water. Okay, sorry, I had to get a little bit more water because this was not, let me get my, I didn't mean to drop that water on there, so I'm gonna do this. Don't wanna mess up my swatch. Okay. Okay. All right, now we're on the crimson colored pencils. I know, Carrie. I get it. I feel the same way. Now, I'm careful. I did print this. I printed these swatch sheets on an inkjet printer. So you can see that when I just dropped that big gump of water on there, it kind of smeared that a little bit. So I always say when you're printing your swatch cards, you do have to be careful not to like overwork the paper, because the ink that comes off the printer is not waterproof, obviously. So it's not like the grabby pens that I use. So you do have to carefully, you don't want to overwork your paper when you've printed your swatches like I did. Because I created this specifically for this journal so that I could keep all of my swatches for all of my palettes in one place. So all of these swatch cards are identical and they're just different palettes. And they go in this little journal right here, which, and I just keep them all together so that when I need a swatch, I can find it and I don't have to fight with finding my swatch cards. Because the swatch cards that come with your palettes, you have to either keep them with your palette or put them all in one place. And I just never can keep, and they're all different sizes and it's just a pain. So I just decided this is going to be a better way for me because I'm too neurospicy for that kind of situation. Like I need it to be easy. Okay, and then we're doing the white. Now, when we do the white, it's not really going to show, but I do it anyway because the point is to swatch it. I don't want to have any pink in here. I have a little bit of pink in my brush, I think. But I'm trying not to. You want to make sure your water's clean too when you do the white. Ta-da! All right, so today, let me dry this and I'll show you what we did already up to this point. Oh, that's a good idea too, Katie. So, all right, so what we have is, so far, is we have these and these. So these are the ones that I've gotten done. So I still have a whole row to swatch of this palette. I still have this whole row right here, and then I'm done. But that's another full page of swatches for me to complete, and that'll complete this 48 color set. Now I put this 48 color set in this empty tin because I like to be able to use it like a palette, but this is how it comes. It's a tube set of paints. And no, I separate my brands. I just write it at the top. So like when I'm done doing this, right up here at the top, I'm going to put Meeden. And I'll put Meeden here, Meeden tube paints here, and I'll put Meeden tube paints here. And so these swatch cards will have the brand up at the top. And then I'll move on to the next brand here, and it'll say there. And that's how I'll separate them out, because otherwise I wouldn't know what was what, and I would need to be able to do, because when I'm doing my tutorials, like today when we were doing our tutorials, our tutorial for the turtle, I didn't have the swatch card available, so I couldn't tell you guys what color I was using on the palette because I couldn't find my swatch card. So now I just have to put my you know, I made this little journal. It's got a little oh, hang on. Let me just put this back up here and I'll show you. It's got a little thing on it. It's like the Louise Carmen journals. I just did it myself though. I didn't spend gazillion dollars on one of those, but I designed it. It's got the little charms and stuff. I love this little journal. It's so cute. But then I opened it up and I printed this. I printed all of these cards and I sewed them together so that I would have a signature to slide in here. Now, then I found another one that I had printed that I forgot, so I just stuck it in there. But, so I stick it in here like this and keep it here. And then, again, I found another one that I printed after I sewed it together. So I just went ahead and just stuck it in here like this. So now I have it in there. So I can just keep adding to it as long as I want to. Or I can make another signature like this, and I can put it here between this one and fit it in there if I want to. And I can just keep adding to this as long as I want. And just keep them all in this one little notebook. And there it is. So that's how I have it. The swatch cards I printed, I just printed myself. I made them in Photoshop and made them and printed them out in Photoshop. So they're like, hang on, let me put this out of the way and I'll show you how I did it. I have to put my paint drawer back up. So I don't know about you guys, but the Meeden, let me put this back up in my tin here too. So this is just an empty tin by Meeden, and you can put your tube paints in here. And then these are what they look like. And they just go, I just put them in my little Meeden drawer and close it up, and they're all put away now. And see, here's my swatch cards for my other palette, but I won't be using those because I'm going to redo them in my new binder. And then in my, as far as my Photoshop goes, I did my swatches. Let me see if I can find it for you. Here it is. So this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. So I did them so that one is facing, one is facing that direction and one is facing this direction. And there's a gap in the middle, so I can fold it in half. And then I printed it on watercolor paper. Well, I plan on putting this in my ETSY shop. I just did it just a couple of days ago, so I haven't gotten it uploaded yet, but it will be there. So you can grab it when it's up there. Just so you know, it will be going in that, as well as I also put these, the template for these in there, so that's now available as well. If you want the templates for the backs of your ACEOs, those are also available as a digital download, so that you just fill in. All right, so today's tutorial was the turtle, and I plan to see you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time for tomorrow's tutorial. And I will see you guys then. I hope that you guys had fun today hanging out with me and doing our turtle, and also doing some swatches in my new swatch journal that I made. And I don't know what we're doing tomorrow for my tutorial, but I will let you guys know. It's going to be something off of our list because we did the turtle today and I marked that off the list. So we will be doing something off this list tomorrow. So I hope to see you guys then. All right. Bye, Stacy Lee. It was good to see you today. I'm glad you guys were here. Yes, me too, Samantha. I love doing swatches. I'm going to try to finish up those swatches tomorrow at the end of our live tomorrow. So I'll finish up those last two rows. All right, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Thanks for hanging out.